I'm going to tell you all sorts of really great stuff, but if we didn't put it in context, whoosh, it would wash right over you. So let's see if we can do some way to make it stick. You are fabulous supply chain professionals. Let us say that your CEO has come to you and he has said, I've been watching that their Fox News thing. There seems to be something going on in Japan. You do supply chain stuff, right? Could you tell me whether or not it's going to affect us? Put together a presentation. We'll talk at the end of the week. Okay, fabulous. Perhaps we should have a talk about the clear blue presentation system first, and then what we'll do is we'll see if we can put that presentation together. Sound like a fair deal? You only have one answer. You have to nod and say, okay, there we go. All right. So the very first thing that we're going to do is plan. Now, what do we normally do when we're asked to give a presentation? Go back to the cubicle, sit down, fire up PowerPoint, and stare at that beautiful white screen and go, all right? What I'm going to tell you to do is hands off the keyboard. Step away from the laptop. The wrong thing to do is to actually sit down and start cranking out slides. That really should be the last thing that you do. Turns out that there's actually 5 different types of speeches that you can give. Generic categories. You can inform people, persuade people, inspire people, teach people, or entertain people. Guilford Godfrey recently discovered that perhaps using the entertaining speech as it applies to Japan is a poor career move. Okay? So if you were going to give a presentation for your company talking about the implications of what's happening in Japan on your supply chain, what type of speech do you think you'd end up giving? Inform. Anything else? You know, interesting. Teaching is generally, you share information without really trying to push them to do anything, right? You're just making them smarter. Would it be fair to say you want to persuade your company to do something? Get out of Japan! You know, something like that, right? It's probably going to be a mix of inform and persuade. Fantastic. Okay, so once you got the planning part done, now it's a matter of organizing. Organizing your speech is where your real value to your company comes. You're going to take all of this information, and you are going to use your expertise, your supply chain knowledge, and you're going to process it. And you're going to process it into a way that they can digest it and that they'll understand what it means for them. Just like my electrocardiologist took all that heart monitoring data and was able to tell me what it meant specifically for me. Now, if you go to a store, if you pick up a How to Give Presentations book, the very first thing it's going to tell you in chapter number 1 is you want to have a powerful opening to your speech. Great. Chapter 2, they're going to say you want to have a powerful closing to your speech because the last few words that tumble out of your mouth are what is going to be what your audience remembers. Leaves a sort of a huge question. What about that middle part? They never talk about that. So I'm going to tell you what the middle part of your speech is supposed to do. The middle part of your speech has one role. It's supposed to move your audience towards your close, right? The purpose of your presentation you're going to lay out for them in the close. That means that everything that happens in the middle of the speech needs to be moving them towards that. Here's the important part, guys. If there's something in the middle of your speech that doesn't lead to your close, get it out of there, right? If you were preparing a report, you'd put it in the appendix. It's not a report. You don't have an appendix. Supplemental slides and all that stuff they always like to put on these decks. No. If it doesn't relate to your conclusion, yank it out. Make it part of a different presentation.